Hello everyone and welcome back, and welcome to part 2 of my decluttering series. Today we're going to be tackling the drawer I've been dreading the most, but it needs to be done. As a quick side note, if you're admiring my makeup and you want to see how I achieved it, it was actually my previous upload to this one. So now before we get into the declutter, I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. This is the task of the day. This drawer contains all of my bronzers and contours, my highlighters, and my million blushes. And here's where I keep the newer things I brought in my collection just to keep it organized. I have to have it on the floor so I can visually see it. But let's start with my bronzers and contours today. So let's get this out of the way. This is an easy yes. This is my favorite Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer from Makeup by Mario. My favorite shade is light medium, as you can see. I also have the shade light, and I have the topper thing, which is the Transforming Skin Perfector, which I use once in a while, but I do prefer this one on its own. But this adds like a nice glow and it kind of sets it in place. But this is a very easy yes. Another very easy yes are my Fenty Beauty Match Sticks in the shade Amber and Amber Suede. These are so nice. I like how different they are for like contour sticks. They are a little bit of a stiffer, drier formula, but in a good way, because it just blends out really matte, powder-like, and it looks really nice, like an actual shadow on your cheek, which is what you want when it comes to contours and sometimes bronzers if you want more of a matte appearance. I have these two shades in the MAC bronzers. I have light golden and light rosy. So I'm going to be keeping light rosy because I think this is such a unique color, especially to my collection, but this one's a little too yellowy and warm on my skin. Whenever I wore it, I felt like the peanut butter baby. So I'm going to let go of this shade just because it's not that great on me, but I'm keeping light rosy. We have more Fenty stuff. So I have the powder bronzer in the shade Indasun, and I really love this one. It's one of my favorite bronzers, so I'm keeping that. And then I have these two creams. So I have the cream in Butter Biscuit and the contour in Amber. I feel like I'm going to let go of this shade right here, but I'm keeping Amber because this one's nice if I want more of like a subdued effect, and it can be a lot more sheer compared to the Match Sticks, but I don't really reach for this bronzer shade anymore. So these are actually concealers, and I purchased them in these darker tones because I thought it would be like a fun dupe to the Charlotte Tilbury contour wand. And it's fine. I just don't think that this wears very well on the perimeter of my face for some reason. I really like this as a concealer, where concealers is supposed to go, but to contour and bronze, it's not the best. So I will let go of those. And thankfully, I have some other options that are kind of closer to this formula, like the Milani contour, as well as these e.l.f. ones that came out this year, which I have been really enjoying. So I'm going to let go of these, but I'm keeping all of these. And these still have to go in my next roundup bin. But now talking about the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Bronzer, I prefer the contour wands that I was just talking about, so I'm going to let go of this. I have another little pot. These little potted things tend to get lost in this section, but I love this one. It's the Trini London Golden Glow Gel Bronzer. It's a really interesting formula, and I love wearing this in the summertime. I have 3 shades in the Rare Beauty bronzers. Let me see here. This shade is way too dark for me. I don't know why that got in my collection. That's the shade Good Energy. My favorite color is this one here, Bright Side. So I'm just going to keep Bright Side. This one's too dark, and this one adds too much of a weird orange tinge that I don't like. I have these two cream bronzers from NARS. I'm actually going to let them go. There's something about this one's scent that lingers on my skin, and it gives me a headache for some reason. It just, every time I turn my head, I get a sniff of my bronzer on my cheek, and I just don't love that. So I'm going to get rid of these. This Surratt bronzer was my obsession this last summer. This is a definite keep. It adds a really pretty glow, but it also has such a nice moussey texture for a powder. It's interesting, keeping that. I've had this Makeup Forever palette for so long, and I always try to convince myself that I will one day use it. I never have. I've only swatched these with my fingers, and these two are untouched, so I'm going to just get rid of it. I'm not going to be using this realistically. This is one of my like secret favorites. This is the Cosmetics bronzer. At first I wasn't sure because it does fluff up quite a bit when you dip your brush into here, but it has such a nice tone, and I love to use this all over my face and my eyes, and just to get like a 2-in-1 look. You can get a bronzer and contour look from one product, and I love that. This is the Saie bronzer, and I feel like it's a fading favorite of mine. It used to be like a top recommended product, but I feel like there are some other cream bronzers that I just prefer over this, like the Makeup by Mario and both of his formulas and just a few other ones here. I think I'm going to let this one go free. Speaking of top favorites, this is the Patrick Ta bronzer and contour duo. Definite fave, definite keep. These are really nice contour trios from Kaleidos. I have the shades Fair and Medium. I really like using these to sculpt my skin. The powders are really, really fine and sheer, so you're able to build them up quite nicely. And I like to use these on my eyes as well, so keeping these for sure. This is another one of my secret favorites, I would say. I use this all the time when I do my makeup off camera. I don't know why I don't use it in my videos more often, because it's such a good formula. If you're familiar with their blushes, it's the same kind of thing, just in like a really pretty bronzer tone. I think these were marketed as contours, but I just prefer them as bronzers because they're like nice, neutral, warm shades. I also have my mini Milk makeup sticks. I really like the shade Toasted in the contour ones. I love bringing these on trips because they're nice and small. These are easy to rely on. This is another one of my favorite cream cheek products, the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick. I always get confused with the names, but this one's really good, and I'm almost at the end of this one actually. Like, I can't scroll it up anymore. I'm gonna have to start digging in. This is such a treat. It's such a nice formula. It's the Gucci Beauty bronzer. Their product's actually so banging. Big favorite. That's not going anywhere. I have the So Soft sticks from Cosmetics. One in the shade Summer, which is my bronzer, and Terra, which is a nice contour. I really like how fluffy this formula feels. It has like a moussey texture, but they blend out really nicely. The LYS bronzer was such a huge favorite. I kind of have forgotten about it, but I don't want to get rid of it. I'm going to keep it around. I just am happy to remind myself of it right now. This is the Merit bronzer stick. I'm also going to be keeping this. I love it's like balmier consistency. Then I have these two. These are the NYX Wonder Sticks. They're wonderful. This is a misplaced product. It's actually meant to be in my upper drawer with my other color correctors. This is the Milani Rose Pinky color corrector. It's really nice under the eye. This is the Huda Beauty Tantour. I think I prefer other things like the Makeup by Mario stick here. Same with these, same with these. What else has kind of like a matte? And these, I always reach for all of these over this, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Then I have the Jones Road bronzer, which I had a little phase with this in the summertime. You can even see like the rippled effect of the pan. I use this so much, so I'm going to keep that. Then I have this one, the L'Oreal Infallible. This is a really nice bronzer formula. It's like a classic bronzing powder, but it's really nice and controllable and reliable. And then the last two are the Huda Beauty Glowish bronzers. I have the shades 02 Medium and 01 Light. One of my top favorite unique powder bronzers. They give like a really pretty matte version of the Makeup by Mario. This is my collection of setting sprays. I'm going to be keeping most of them aside from this one. I don't like the way this one feels on my skin. It feels a little stingy for some reason, so I never use it. That's the Smashbox one, but otherwise I'm keeping all of these. This has the Stay All Night setting spray from MAC because I broke the nozzle off of that and I finished this one, so I refilled it so I could use it up. But otherwise I have the matte finish from NYX. I have the Benefit Professional, the matte one from Milk Makeup, the Hydro Grip from Milk Makeup, the MAC one, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Setting Spray, the Rare Beauty one, Fix Plus, and a classic all-nighter from Urban Decay. Now it's highlighter time. Starting off with the Ilia, I'm actually going to let this one go because I know it's super, super old, and the last time I used this, it didn't really perform the way I remembered, so letting that go. These have been like one of my highlighters of the year this year. These are the Rare Beauty Powder highlights. I'm going to keep all of them. I have 2 shades in Exhilarate because I have one that's like perfect and the other one's broken, so I'll usually travel with this one. Just because it's already broken, but I love these. They're so dramatic. I have the Milk Stick highlight in the shade Lit, and I have the liquid one. I actually prefer the liquid over the stick, so I'm going to keep this one and get rid of this. This is the M Cosmetics Sunscape highlighter in the shade Clarity. I like the idea of this, but every time I use it, I feel like it's a little bit too exaggerating, or it feels a little too highlighty. I don't know. I'm going to let that go, but I'm going to keep their liquid highlight, which comes in this fun little cushion form. It's the Moonbeam highlighter, and these are quite nice actually. This is a rediscovery of mine, the Essence Pure Nude highlighter, for sure keeping that. Same with my Fort de France from NARS. I think MAC discontinued this product and I will never forgive. This is the cream color base in Hush. It's such a nice summery color. I love this and it's gonna be one of my staples for a long time. I also have the Say highlighter that they collaborated with Reformation. It's the shade Ref Rose and it's a really gorgeous highlight, keeping that. This one is stunning. It's the Daniel Sandler watercolor. I don't use it enough though, and my mom's completely obsessed with these, so I'm going to gift this to her. It's really pretty. All his blushes and highlights and everything like this are really, really awesome. I have the Melt Cosmetics Sex Foil, which this is one of my favorite highlights, and you wouldn't be able to tell because you have to use so little of this for it to go a long way, but it's such a stunning thin formulation and it looks so dewy without feeling dewy, and it dries down to this powdery state that's just to die for. Keeping that for sure. I have a classic, the Becca Champagne Pop. So fun to have. I'm going to keep that for sure. Similar situation to the Revolution concealers I got rid of. This is a highlighter version and I find it to be too oily. It tends to lift a lot of my foundations up, so I'm going to get rid. I have 2 shades in the Danessa Myricks Vision Flush Glows. So I have this one that has like a really fun pink reflect, and Tiara and Femme. Tiara is really nice, very fine in consistency. There's no glitter particles, whereas this one has a little bit of glitter, but whenever I'm using like a vibrant pink highlight, I don't mind a little bit of glitter because it's like obviously not natural. So I'm keeping both of those. I have this Ilia highlighting stick. I just don't really reach for it anymore. It used to be a huge favorite, but it's kind of faded for me. I'm going to declutter. Same with this one. I find that this is a really, really dry highlight. I don't know if it's gotten super dry with age, but it's the shade Ice Cream, and it just isn't very consistent. What is this? Oh, this puffy thing. It's not very consistent when I blend it out, so I'm going to also get rid of that. I have a double here. This is the Beauty Light Wand from Charlotte Tilbury. This is just the Disney version, so it just has Tinkerbell on it, and I thought it was cute because I'm a Disney adult, so I'm keeping those for sure. This is one of my favorites for like a glossy look. It's the Merit Kava Stick. It's super glass-like on the skin. I have 3 shades in the Rare Beauty highlights. I'm going to get rid of the golden one. I never reach for that, but I love to mix these 2 shades. I'm getting rid of Outshine, and I'm keeping Enlighten and Flaunt. These are fun to mix together. It creates a gorgeous champagne highlight. This I completely forgot I had. This is the Florasis Twin Lotus Relief Luminous Glow Highlighter. And oh my God, is that ever fun to look at. How could I forget? I'm keeping that for sure, so gorgeous. This is the Trini London Candlelight Highlighter. Oh my God, do I ever love using this in the summertime. It truly gives you like a candlelit glow, and you just have this gorgeous luminosity. Oh my God, it's to die for. This is the MAC Whisper of Guilt Highlight. This is really fun to whip out once in a while. It's not like my top favorite ever, but I like to have it. It's a classic. Then I have the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude Glow, which is one of my favorites. It kind of gives me vibes of the ABH Amrezy, just in the texture. not so much in the color, but I like this color a little bit better. And then I have these three from About Face, which I never really use anymore. I think because it comes in this kind of packaging I don't like a dropper, and it's just a little bit annoying, but I'll revisit the colors. This is Shaken or Stirred. Oh, I remember these are quite intense, but they have a super silky feel. This one is a fun color. It's like liquid violet, and it's kind of fun to look at. But do I ever use it? No. This one is Roses in the Wall, which is a pink highlight. Oh, I actually remember mixing this into some Rare Beauty blushes or like any other liquid blush, and it becomes really fun. I think I'll keep the pink one. Otherwise, I think I'm okay. This is very gold and very violet. I don't think I really need that. Do I? I mean, I guess it's fun. I don't. I'm not going to. I'm keeping the rose shade though. And there we are, setting sprays and my highlights are now done. This is going to be insanity. It's like piled. Okay, starting off, we have my Saie blushes. I'm completely in love with Chili, but I'm not so in love with the shade Poppy. It's a little too vibrant and orange for my liking, so I'll let go of this. I also have this, which I forgot about. This is the Fenty Beauty Double Cheeked Up blush. So there's two creams in here. I think I'm going to let this go. The Fenty blushes aren't my favorite. It has to be in a tone that I am in love with, or else I just don't really reach for them, so I'll declutter this. But while we're talking about these guys, I love the shades Rosé Latte and Bikini Martini, but Peach Face is just a little too shimmery for my liking, so I'm also going to let that one go. But this is one of the most cool toned blushes ever, and it's so pretty. And Rosé Latte is a really nice brown color for the summer. I have my fun Tower 28 blushes, which I adore. This one in the shade Office Hours went a little bit weird. The waxes got cold and then they gathered. Tower 28 actually DM'd me about it, so I can include a screenshot of what they said about this one, but you can see that the waxes, kind of gathered together, so I'm going to let that one go, but I'm keeping the rest. This is such a fun bright pink, and then I have the shade Power Hour and After Hours. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip and Cheek Glow. I haven't used this in a long time. I'm going to just let it go because I need to make room for the things I love more than this in this collection. It's getting out of hand. I don't really wear these ones on their own. I like to use them as blush toppers if I want to make it look more bronzy or more vibrant and cool toned. So I'm going to be keeping these. These are the Kaleidos blushes, the mono blushes in the shades Pearl Bliss and Pale Rose. I knew going into this video that I was going to let go of these two palettes. I never reach for them. The formula is not my favorite, and I feel like maybe like a makeup artist could use these better than I do. I have my little collection of Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light ones. I have a double here. I don't know why, but I have two Pinkgasms. I have the matte ones, and I have the Pinkgasm Sunset, which is too dark for my complexion. It looks a little patchy on me just because it's too dark. So I'm letting that one go. And I'm also going to get rid of these two shades. I just don't really like them. I thought this was going to be like a nice cool pink on me, but it turns out to be like a peach, and this peach isn't the kind of peaches I like. So that's good. I think I'll put one of these in my backups because I don't need two at a time. This is the Surratt Blush Duo, and I don't know what it is. It's actually two singles that you can put together yourself, but I think this is so cute. I loved using this in the summertime, especially for like a, I don't know, like a fairy look. You can use this all over your cheek and then top it off with the shimmery one, and it just looks like Sabrina Carpenter's makeup, you know. If you know, you know. Like, her cheek products are so good. I need to figure out what she does, but this gives me Sabrina Carpenter vibes. These I've kind of fallen out of love with. My favorite shade though is Get Some. I really like that color, but I want to check out these other ones. These are the Cheek Freak blush bombs from About Face. This one is super unique in tone, but it's like kind of dried out now. I feel like I'm only going to be keeping Get Some. These are some of my collection favorites. This I kind of only kept for the packaging. I also told myself I could maybe make it work if I paired it with other things. But this is the Lily by Red Cool Pink blush. It's just way too fair for me. It doesn't even show up pretty much. It just looks a little chalky. The heart packaging is so cute. I don't want to get rid of it because of that, but I do because I never use it. Another one in that same category, I just never reach for this blush from Huda Beauty, the Glowish Berry Juicy one. I'm going to let that go. These are so fun. These are the Givenchy loose powder blushes. I have 3 shades. I have the shades 4, 5, and 1, and they're so fun to use, and I think they give such a pretty effect, so I'll be keeping those around. I have this palette from last Christmas season, and I haven't reached for it probably since. I think this one in my blush tournament over the Charlotte Tilbury palette, and I actually use this all the time. This is the Beautifying Face palette in Pillow Talk. I really like the formulas in here, and the highlights are really pretty as well, and they're really nice cheek toppers. There's very similar tones in this one right here, but I just always use the 3 that are kind of in this one. So getting rid of NARS, keeping Charlotte. Ooh, these ones are so good. These are the Clinique Cheek Pops. I have the shades Black Honey and Cola. Oh my gosh, actually I pointed to the wrong ones. This is Black Honey and this is Cola. I recently worked with them on a project and they told me that these start off as liquid and then they're pressed. That's how they get that really unique texture. I have these 2 blushes from Laura Mercier. I have this shade All That Sparkles, which I think was limited edition. This one might be too. Peach Shimmer. I'm getting rid of Peach Shimmer, but All That Sparkles is really, really fun. It looks like nothing in the pan, but when you put it on your cheek, it really transforms. Let's go through some that I know I'm not going to be decluttering. So my Haus Labs, ooh, I need to clean that. My Haus Labs blushes in Dragon Fruit Days, the most neon blush I have for sure, and Dragon Fruit Days, which is such a stunning tone. Keeping these. The Gucci Beauty blushes aren't going anywhere either. Beautiful. I have Warm Berry, Rosy Beige, and True Pink. These are similar to the Makeup by Mario Skin Enhancers, but just in blush form. They're staying, obviously. These are some of my favorite powder blushes. They don't really look like much either in the pan. Like the Laura Mercier, they really transform once you actually put them on your cheeks. But I love these colors to bits, so they're staying as well. I just wish they weren't so chunky. They're so big. I have plenty of Rose Inc blushes. I have 6. My favorites are Daylily, Heliotrope, and Foxglove, and these are really fun once in a while. Like Azalea has been really growing on me. Dahlia is like a super intense red. And this is my collection of Patrick Ta blushes. I'll be keeping all of them, but my favorites are Oh She's Different, She's Baked, She's Vibrant. This one is so nice, She's Wanted, but I'm keeping all of these. These are some of my treasures. Sorry, Pedro is filling in for me today. I was a little bit tired. These are my Huda Beauty Cream Stick blushes. I'm going to get rid of these 2 shades, but I'm keeping these ones because they're really unique and I like this formula a lot, but I don't like these specific shades. So I'm keeping Rebel Red and I'm keeping Batty Berry, but getting rid of Coral Cutie and Perky Peach. Then I have a variety of the M Cosmetics serum blushes. I have Forbidden Fruit, Venetian Rose, Little Lilac, Pink Nectar, and my favorite, Soft Amethyst. I think, let's see. Oh yeah, oh that's a cool color. I thought that was the one that looked a little poopy brown, but it's not. I'm keeping these. So I'm going to be keeping the red Glossier blush, but the rest here are actually ancient to my collection. I've had these specific ones since 2015, and I don't reach for them that often, but I like the red one for like the summertime or when I want like a naturally flushed look. Otherwise, I'm going to get rid of these. They're probably off. I have so many M Cosmetics blushes. Let's go through these shades. This is lychee or lychee, depending on where you're from and how you like to pronounce it. Don't come for me. I like lychee. It sounds better to me. I don't really like that color. This is Bitten. Really nice. Keeping that. This is Chiffon, one of the newer shades. I thought this looked a little gray on me, so I'm going to get rid of that. Venetian Rose, which is one of my favorites in all formulas that they offer. This is Baby, which is one of my favorite little pinky warm colors. It's not like a cool pink. Strawberry, which is one of the newer colors, is so pretty and vibrant. I loved wearing this with a green eyeshadow look. Stunning. And Demure, I'm going to keep Demure, get rid of Pearl Tea. So I'm getting rid of 3. Then we have these little cuties from Rare Beauty. I have the shades Nearly Apricot, Nearly Neutral, and Nearly Rose. They're all cute. They're staying. I like how they look like little macarons. This is the K.R. Weiss blush. I'm actually almost finished this one, so I'm going to just use up the rest. This is one I almost decluttered recently, and I was crazy for that because it's such a stunning and fun formula. It's the Chanel Les Beige, and it's like this really nice dark color, and it looked so good in the fall. Oh my god, I used that so much. I have a variety of MAC blushes here. I'm going to keep my favorites here. Burnt Pepper, Gingerly. This one's really fun. This is the Heat Index shade. I don't really like this one anymore, the shade That's Peachy. This is the shade So Natural. This is one of those extra dimension blushes. This is Rosy Cheeks. It's really pretty. And this one I'll get rid of too, Peaches. I don't really like these ones. I feel like I'm getting rid of a lot of peachy blushes, but I have so many. And this is a very similar formula to this one from MAC. They're nearly identical, but this is the Juicy Pang blushes. I forget what actual brand this is from, but it just says Juicy Pang. This one didn't really show up on me, so I'm going to let that one go. It's the shade Grape, but I'm keeping this one, the shade Apple, I believe. We're nearing the end, you guys. I have 2 formulas in Bubble from Persona. So I have the stick version, which I think is a little bit more unique, and I have this one, the powder blush, which I prefer other ones, honestly, so I'm going to get rid of the powder version, but keep the stick. This is something I've never used, but I just shoved in my collection one day. It's the Victoria Beckham blush in the shade Mini Skirt, and I thought the color would be fun. I've never used it, so I want to at least give it a chance. And then I have my Merit babies. I have these little baby versions of these 4 shades: Après, Fox, Persimmon, and Stockholm. And then I have Beverly Hills. Ooh, I didn't close it all the way last time. And Terracotta. I love my Merit blushes. They're not going anywhere. And then finally, I have all of my Rare Beauty liquid blushes, which aren't going anywhere, but I will flip them upside down because I'm tired of having to pige each one out to look at what shade it is. Now all my sticks are basically in here. That's awesome. Are you ready for the reveal? And here it is. Wow, I feel so much better about this. I feel like I can read everything, see everything clearly, and I don't feel as paralyzed when I open this drawer anymore. This is everything we're getting rid of today. And this was everything I got rid of in part 1. So I'm going to transfer all of this into here. And I've almost filled this whole box so far. And that's it for part 2. I really hope you enjoyed it. Next time, we're either going to be going through all of my eye products or my lip products. But that's going to be all from me. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.